Good morning, everyone. We are here going to work on our Rhino today. So let's go have a look at it and then get all my tools unloaded and get everything set up. Hey everyone, we got a 660 Sport Edition Rhino here. We're going to go ahead and customer's complaint request is to do the valve adjustment and also just do a check. There's some backfiring, popping, hard starting issues. A couple things I'm going to look at definitely is the fuel filter, air filter, and then we'll do a check of the valves. Yeah. And first things first on these, you want to just pull the seats out. There's a little latch right here. Seat literally just comes, well, it's got a 5-point harness here. So as you can see, initial thought's pretty dirty down in here, so you got to pull the center cover out, which is actually pretty easy. Make sure to pull the brake on, and then you push this rubber piece kind of down to get it out of the way, and this whole cover will pop up. So he's running a K&N style. I've seen much worse, so pretty dirty, but I have definitely seen worse. What I'll do is I'll pop it off. I've got some cleaner. We'll go ahead and clean it and then put it back together. The carburetor, you see there's some leakage of fuel down there a little bit. Might be a cause of concern. And then so the intake valves are going to be under this cover right here. The exhaust valves is kind of what's a little more of a pain. However, it looks like someone's been through this. Normally there's clips all along here, little freaking zip ties, and then that's the see how this is pretty loose. You're gonna have to get this out of the way. What this does, okay, so the quote-unquote transmission, right, it's the belt essentially, runs in here, and air gets sucked. He's got actually a filter over here. Usually they don't have filters, but here's a filter. Air comes in, goes down, comes across, helps cool the belt, and then to get rid of the air, it comes up out the back and then up to this tube and comes right down onto the top of the head, which is great because it adds a little bit extra cooling, because there's not really any cooling that it's going to be getting while you're driving, right? The radiator's in the front, and that will get, you know, air run across it, and that's fine, but the actual on the motor, that's all you've got. I take that back. On the other side, which we'll be taking apart to get to the there's one more vent that sucks air and blows it across the exhaust in the back, helps push that heat away. And let me get my other camera set up here, get you a good angle. We're gonna have to look real close at down in here, because I'm gonna be taking this whole cover off to get in here, and there's a timing mark you have to look at, and I'll show you a pretty cool trick on how to set TDCC, top dead center compression. That's where you want to be at. And yeah, but this little bit of fuel leakage down here, not horribly concerning. And again, the filter's not horribly, I've seen a lot worse. I'm going to recommend to him that he puts the outer cover on it, and then I'll help prevent excess dirt. And then somebody ran, when they got rid of the air box, they just ran this little breather, PVC breather valve. Once this comes off, I'll show you something else I noticed. First thing is, this thing's pretty loose already. Should not be that easy. Alright. Let's say it just forces air down in there. Alright, so I'm looking at this. Look at this right here. Plug is not even all the way in there. This rubber boot is designed, right, to walk in there. So it needs to go down a little bit more to walk in there. And pull the plug out, we'll do a compression check. And then also when you pull the plug out to do the compression check, obviously this is disconnected. Come over here to the coil. Here's the coil. Freaking harness stuff. Here's the coil. You're going to disconnect the wire from the coil. Okay? That way, when you crank it, it's not going to try to fire into open air. So you see this right here? It should have a hose. I don't know if it fell in the bottom somewhere. We'll look around down there. But that hose goes to the carbonator. Okay, once you've picked out your appropriate adapter for the compression, and you've already taken your plug out, slide this in, and it'll just thread in. Just righty tighty, lefty loosey, same old as just as the spark plug. Okay. So one important thing about doing the compression check is you're going to get an improper reading unless you hold the throttle wide open. Throttle wide open and just crank her over. Alright, so obviously pretty high. I'm pretty happy with that number. And before you pop it off, you press this button to release the pressure. Hey, we're back. We're going to go ahead and pull off the left side cover so we can get to the timing marks. These are just 10mm bolts here. Alright, and there's going to be some all the way down. Get these pulled off here, and I'll show you how to get to the... If I remember, there's one that's kind of a pain in the butt back here. There might even be two that's kind of a pain in the butt. Ah, the one on the very bottom is already missing, so someone obviously said, to hell with that, I'm not putting that back in. I'll look at the bolts, and if I have one that's going to fit, I'll put one back in there. Because, you know, that's the right thing to do. Leave stuff better than when you got it. Gloveless, but yesterday when I was working on something, I got my finger burnt pretty good. Guess that kind of comes with the profession. Busting knuckles, getting burnt. Once we get to this, this is also how you turn over the motor. You'll see, I believe it's 17mm. Really weird, awkward place to get my hand in there. Alright, see? The thing just comes off. Now, there's a bolt usually on the top here, but it's come off. Someone just zip tied it. Cut the zip tie, and then I'll put a new zip tie in place. And we can pull this little, let's call it a fan shroud. So, like I said, this little vent, air comes across right here, and then it blows across the exhaust to push more air out the back. Get the heat out of there. Now you see in here, see these fins? So if I reach in there and turn it, I'm actually going to be turning over the motor. Okay? And so let me move the camera up a little bit here. This is the cam chain tensioner, right? So it's holding pressure on the cam chain in here. You always want to move a motor towards the pressure, to the cam chain, like the direction that it's facing. If it was on the other side of the motor, I turn the motor that way, but it's on this one, so I'm going to turn the motor that way. You want that cam chain going in the wrong direction here. So what I'm trying to get to is a little cover. It's right here my finger is. I'll bring a mirror here to show you, but we're going to take a really stubby standard screwdriver. Feels like it's been marred up before. We're going to pull that off, right? And I'm going to get a light and a mirror, and I'm going to pull the intake valve cover off. I'm going to show you how to get this thing set to top dead center compression. Okay. Alright, got this little adapter here. I already loosened it. Look what just happened again. Ay. Yeah, I know these gloves are too small. I need to go buy some more. I'm borrowing my kids' gloves. Funny, huh? So be careful, this thing's just a little plastic cap. Okay? That's going to give you the ability to see what the time mark is on the crank. So let me go grab the rest of the tools and I'll be right back. I got the best angle I can get for you to try to look at the timing mark that's on the, I guess you want to call it a flywheel with the crankcase position, crank position. There it is. So first two marks, and I'll go back just a tiny bit for you. Not going to really hurt the tensor to do that. Okay, so the first mark is going to be your fire marks. You always fire pre getting to the top dead center of the stroke. So look, that's your fire range. The next mark right there, top dead center compression. So now, I come back up here to the valves, I should be able to wiggle them. Alright? Be able to wiggle them. Alright? This is the same exact procedure for the exhaust. Austin intake are done at the same time as the Singer cylinder. Alright, now we have the it all set at top dead center compression. The intakes are supposed to be you can get this up here, 0.1 to 0.15. However, this one I can't get it in at all. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a 10. I'm just going to it's really high. Loosen it up. And then I'm just going to take a pair of needle nose. And just turn it. So now the 0.10 millimeter should go right in. Here it slides back and forth. Okay, so here are the intake valves. Alright, so 0.10 millimeter is the standard here. So you want to get it between the valve I'll put my thumb in here. It has some drag on it. Don't want to be too tight and you force it, because then you're actually pushing the valve down. Now the clearance is between 0.10 and 0.15, so I have 0.15. I'm going to try to put that in there. And I can't get it in, right? So you're within the clearance range.